So, question though. So we have this internet stuff. Like, do you think this is the right evolution for games? Like, do you foresee if you like let's paint a picture for a second. So if this goes down the line that's going, we're going to get to the point to where we're never going to go to a retail store to buy a game again. You're not going to have a game section of Target. You're not going to have a GameStop.
You will. I mean, you got to buy the console.
Yeah, but you can just buy that online at that point.
That's true. Yeah. Just ship straight to your house.
Like, you look at like when you go to the movie section of Target, like you don't buy a player there. You just like, it's just all built in at that point.
Yeah, true.
No, you don't really need that. You buy the TV, which will have it part of it, I guess. I don't know. But you won't have like a game section that's like, here's like 2 rows of like stuff that you can pick from. It's going to kind of more or less go away. So you won't have the window shopping anymore. But what you will have is the ability to connect to a library, not have to buy $60 games any longer. I'm sure this is going to make even more of an argument for live service games to be a thing, because they're going to make less money, I feel like, off of offering streaming than they would by selling all these retail copies. So I don't know where they're going to go with that, but like, I'd hate for story-based games to disappear. Because of the fact that they can't have any residual off of that. Because if they only make like $3 or $4 off of a person playing a game, that would suck.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So
I don't know how they work that out. I mean, how do Netflix? How do they deal with all that with getting their content? Obviously,
a lot of
content
Netflix
creators are getting lots of
licensed,
money.
Yeah,
right.
So they pay them
some
to
money.
have basically they rent the content for their platform. But that's also why Netflix is starting to make all their own content.
Right.
Because they make the content, they own the rights to it.
So technically, PlayStation should be killing it with its own content.
Yeah.
But then obviously it takes years to create this. I mean, so do TV shows and movies, but I feel like those are more streamlined at this point.
Games are definitely a longer process, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then, I don't know. That's a tough thing. Like, I think it's going the right direction, but I'm afraid for them to, like, I think we're going to see something like with, iTunes right now, but the problem is they're gonna have to figure out how to like make that work better, because I don't think iTunes has solved this problem. I don't think Google Play has solved this problem, but what they have is a hybrid library. So like if you're on an Apple Music user, you log in, you have a separate app for iTunes where you can buy albums still, just a single album, buy it, download it, but it doesn't like, you can't search for that through Apple Music. If you're in Apple Music, the only albums you can find are the albums that are available for streaming only. But you can still go out and buy an album if you want to own that piece of content. But like even Google Play is the same way. It's separate. It's segregated. So you have the Google Play Store, which is where you buy the content. Then you have the Google Play Music app, which is where you stream the stuff. So like everything's segregated. And I'm afraid that this is what that's going to do too, is that right now you have an online games library where you can buy games willy-nilly, but you're going to have a separate platform. I'm hoping they figure out a way to integrate it so that when you're on a games page, like you say, I want to play Gears 5. You pull up Gears 5 and it's like buy, stream. You have 2 options. Pick which one you want to do. If you stream it, like you have to understand that there's a few limitations with that. 1, this content could go away at some point. 2, it may not be the best quality. And 3, you have to have an internet connection. If you buy it, you can play it offline, get rid of that online only bullshit. Like you can play it offline and you get full quality graphics saved on your hard drive, blah, blah, blah. Like that could be an option for them to go with.
I dig that. I dig that. I see that being a thing.
But they're going to have to figure that out because Xbox isn't good for UI. Their user interfaces are pretty shitty. But
oh, man.
And PlayStation, I feel like the PlayStation 4 is intimidating. The PlayStation Store is intimidating for me too. Like I don't ever look in that thing, so I'm just like, so much stuff.
No, it's not good. I'd rather just buy it on my desktop and it's there for me on my PlayStation.
And that's another thing that they've done too with PlayStation, that PlayStation needs to figure out how to like integrate all their products together, because when you go into PlayStation, if you want to look at the PlayStation Now library, you have to like scroll down to all their different products. They have like the PlayStation View and they have PlayStation Now and they have PlayStation demos, and then here's the store and here's the movies and here's all this stuff in the menu.
Right.
And the PlayStation Now should be integrated with everything else, I think. But
I get it. I mean, I think this is an evolution. I think we could see this, but I don't know if we'd see this for the next 10 or 15 years. I mean, 15 or 20 years, honestly.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I think obviously the physical copies are going away, but I think they'll still stick around for at least another 10 years.
Head on over to thegamer.net for our full podcast episode for our weekly game impressions and top headlines of the week.
That's one of me doing an interview. Here's one of all of us. We'll mix some cool stuff in there.
Things.
Brett's also right here.
Like this video, subscribe, keep up with all the latest video game news and opinions that you care about right here on The Inner Gamer.